Today, we're diving into a real fiscal mystery. We've got a government budget that has supposedly tripled in size, but on the ground, public services feel like they're stuck in neutral. So where did all that money really go? Okay, let's get into it. So the official announcement is a total blockbuster. The budget has shot up from around 10,000 crore rupees to over 30,000 crore rupees in just 8 years. Now, a crore is 10 million, so we are talking about some serious money here. It's kind of like if your weekly grocery bill suddenly tripled, you'd expect a whole lot more food for that money, wouldn't you? And this 300% increase, well, it's being sold as solid proof of massive development.
And yet that's just not what people are experiencing. Out in the real world, citizens are asking some really sharp questions. You know, if there's 3 times more money floating around, why aren't the services 3 times better? So you've got this paradox, right? And that's the mystery we're going to solve.
To really get what's happening, we have to crack open the government's budget code. See, it's not just one giant piggy bank that can be spent on whatever. It actually has very specific rules and very specific buckets for the money. Now, just look at this chart. What's so interesting here is the massive imbalance it shows. Government budgets are basically split into 2 main types. Think about your own household budget. Most of it probably goes to recurring bills, not big new investments. Well, as you can see, one of these slices is a whopping 85% of the entire pie.
So, what is that giant 85% slice? Well, it's something called revenue expenditure. In a nutshell, this is the money needed just to keep the lights on. We're talking salaries, pensions for retired employees, interest payments on old loans, and just general upkeep. It's the cost of running the government exactly as it is today.
And that much smaller 15% slice, that's capital expenditure. Now this is the exciting part. This is the money that actually builds for the future. This is for new schools, new hospitals, new roads. So the really crucial point here is the huge majority of that big headline budget number, it's not actually for building new things at all. Okay, so let's zoom in on that huge 85% slice, the revenue expenditure, because this is where we find the main culprit in our mystery. It's something economists call the committed expenditure trap. And wow, this bar chart just lays it all out in stark terms. Within all that day-to-day spending, one category just completely dominates everything else, making up 60 to 70% of it. That giant bar right there, that's committed expenditure. So what is this stuff? Well, think of it as the budget's ball and chain. These are costs that are basically locked in from the past. They're non-negotiable bills the government has to pay. We're talking legally required salary hikes, growing pension payments as more people retire, and interest on debt that was taken out years, maybe even decades ago. These costs just grow automatically every single year. All right, this is the moment we've been building towards. The total spending increase from 2017 to 2025 was about 20,000 crore rupees. So, where did that mountain of cash actually end up? So here it is. This is the huge, flashy headline number, the one that was announced with so much fanfare. This is the number that makes it sound like development is just skyrocketing. But let's actually follow the money. Okay, here is the big aha moment. Because when we actually break this down, the whole story completely changes. Just look at this. Around 5,000 crore, gone just for salary hikes. Another 2,000 crore for pensions. 3,000 crore to pay interest on old debt. And get this, another 4,000 crore was simply eaten up by inflation, which means it costs more money just to build the exact same things as before. So what's left for actual new development? A much, much smaller 6,000 crore. And that, right there, brings us to the core of the mystery. The headline boasts a 300% spending increase, but the reality on the ground is that the actual capacity to build new things and deliver new services only went up by about 30 to 40%. This is a classic case of what's known as a fiscal illusion.
So the key takeaway here isn't just that headline numbers can be misleading. It's that you now have the tools to see the reality behind them. All you have to do is ask the right questions.
This should always be the first and most powerful question you ask about any government budget. Is our money going towards just running the existing system, or is it actually going towards building a new future?
And then you can follow up with this zinger. This question cuts right through all the noise. Forget the total budget for a second. Ask if the investment budget has tripled. This forces a direct, honest comparison of real investment, and it strips away all the effects of inflation and those locked-in costs.
And that leads us to the final and, maybe the most critical question you can ask. This is the one that truly gets to the heart of government accountability and connects all these numbers back to our daily lives.
Because when you ask this, you stop being just a passive taxpayer and you become an engaged citizen. And demanding an answer to this very simple question, well, that's always the first and most powerful step toward real change and making sure your money is actually working for you.